Arthur Conan Doyle, The Study in Scarlet. Chapter 10. John Ferrier Talks with the Prophet. 3 weeks had passed since Jefferson Hope and his companions had left Salt Lake City. John Ferrier felt pain in his heart when he thought about the young man's return and about losing his adopted daughter. Still, Lucy's bright and happy face helped him accept what was going to happen better than any words could. Deep in his strong and determined heart, John Ferrier had always decided one thing. He would never allow his daughter to marry a Mormon. To him, such a marriage was not a true marriage, but a shame and a disgrace. Whatever he thought about the Mormon religion in general, on this point he would never change his mind. However, he could not speak openly about this belief. In those days, saying anything against the church was extremely dangerous in the land of the saints. It was so dangerous that even the most faithful people spoke in quiet voices and chose their words carefully. They were afraid that a careless word might be misunderstood and bring terrible punishment. The people who had once been persecuted had now become persecutors themselves, and very cruel ones. No organization in history, not even the Spanish Inquisition or other secret courts, had ever created a system as strong and frightening as the one that ruled Utah. This power was invisible and mysterious, which made it even more frightening. It seemed to know everything and control everything, yet no one ever saw it. A man who opposed the church simply disappeared. No one knew where he went or what happened to him. His wife and children waited at home, but he never returned to tell them what had happened to him. A careless word or a small action could bring sudden destruction. No one understood exactly how this power worked, but everyone feared it deeply. Because of this, people lived in constant fear. Even far from the city, in the wilderness, they did not dare to speak openly about their doubts. At first, this terrible power was used only against those who had joined the Mormon faith and later tried to leave it. But soon, it spread further. There were not enough adult women, and polygamy could not continue without them. Strange rumors began to spread. People spoke about murdered travelers and robbed camps in places where Native Americans had never been seen. New women appeared in the homes of the elders, women who cried, suffered, and showed deep fear on their faces. Travelers who were laid in the mountains told stories about armed men who moved silently through the darkness. They wore masks and seemed to appear and disappear like shadows. These stories were told again and again until they became connected with one terrible name. Even today, on lonely farms in the American West, the name the Danite Band, also called the Avenging Angels, is spoken with fear and dark meaning. The more people learned about this secret organization, the more afraid they became. No one knew who belonged to it. The names of the men who used violence in the name of religion were kept completely secret. Even the friend to whom you quietly spoke about your doubts about the prophet might be one of those who came at night with fire and weapons to punish you. For this reason, every man was afraid of his neighbor, and no one spoke openly about what he really felt. One clear morning, John Ferrier was getting ready to go out to his wheat fields. As he was about to leave the house, he heard the door latch click. He looked through the window and saw a strong, middle-aged man with fair hair walking up the path. His heart jumped with fear. It was Brigham Young himself. Ferrier felt very afraid, because he knew that such a visit could only mean trouble. He hurried to the door to greet the leader, but Young returned his greeting coldly and followed him into the sitting room with a serious face. "Brother Ferrier," he said, sitting down and looking carefully at him, "the true believers have treated you well. We found you starving in the desert. We shared our food with you. We led you safely to the chosen valley. We gave you good land and allowed you to become rich under our protection. Is that not true?" "It is true," John Ferrier answered. "In return," Young continued, "we asked only one thing, that you accept the true faith and obey its rules in every way. You promised this, but people say that you have not kept that promise." "And how have I failed?" Ferrier asked, lifting his hands. "Have I not given money to the community? Have I not attended the temple?" "Where are your wives?" Young asked sharply, looking around the room. "Call them here so that I may greet them." "It is true that I have not married," Ferrier said. "There were few women, and many men had stronger claims than I. I was not alone. I had my daughter to take care of me." "It is about that daughter that I wish to speak," said the Mormon leader. "She has grown into the flower of Utah, and many important men admire her." John Ferrier felt deep pain inside. "There are stories that I would prefer not to believe," Young continued. "Stories that she is promised to a Gentile. This must surely be empty talk. Do you know the 13th rule of Joseph Smith? Every maiden of the true faith must marry one of the chosen. If she marries a Gentile, she commits a serious sin." He paused, and then looked hard at Ferrier. "If you truly follow our holy faith, you cannot allow your daughter to break this rule." John Ferrier did not reply. He stood in silence, nervously turning his riding whip in his hands. "On this matter, your faith will be tested," Young said firmly. "This has been decided by the Sacred Council of Four. The girl is young. We do not want her to marry an old man, and we will not take away all her choice. We elders have many wives, but our sons must also be provided for." He paused and then continued. "Stangerson has a son, and Drebber has a son. Either of them would gladly take your daughter into his home. Let her choose between them. They are young, rich, and true believers. What do you say to that?" John Ferrier remained silent for a long time. His forehead was tight with worry. "You will give us some time," he said at last. "My daughter is very young. She is hardly old enough to marry." "She shall have 1 month," Young replied, standing up. "At the end of that time, she must give her answer." As he reached the door, Young suddenly turned back. His face was red with anger, and his eyes were burning. "It would be better for you, John Ferrier," he shouted, "if you and your daughter were lying dead in the desert, than if you dared to resist the orders of the Holy Four." With a threatening gesture, he left the house. Ferrier heard his heavy steps on the gravel path. John Ferrier sat for a long time with his elbows on his knees, thinking about how he could speak to his daughter. Then a soft hand touched his. He looked up and saw Lucy standing next to him. One look at her pale and frightened face told him that she had heard everything. "I couldn't help it," she said quietly. His voice carried through the house. "Oh, Father, Father, what shall we do?" "Don't be afraid," he answered gently. He pulled her closer and ran his rough hand through her chestnut hair. "We will find a way out somehow. You don't love that young man any less, do you?" Her only answer was a quiet sob and a tight squeeze of his hand. "No, of course not," he said softly. "I wouldn't want to hear you say that. He is a good young man, and a Christian too. More of one than many people here, no matter how much they pray and preach." He thought for a moment and then added, "There is a group leaving for Nevada tomorrow. I will find a way to send him a message and tell him about the trouble we are in. And if I know Jefferson Hope, he will be back here faster than lightning." Lucy laughed quietly through her tears at her father's words. "When he comes back, he will know what is best for us," she said. "But I am afraid for you, Father." People tell such terrible stories about those who go against the prophet. Something bad always happens to them. But we have not gone against him yet, her father replied calmly. There will be time to worry when we do. We have a full month ahead of us, and when that month is over, I think it will be best for us to leave Utah. Leave Utah? Lucy repeated in shock. That's exactly what I mean. But what about the farm? We will sell what we can and take the money, he said. We will leave the rest behind. To tell the truth, Lucy, I have thought about leaving before. I do not like bowing to any man the way these people bow to their prophet. I was born free, and this kind of life is strange to me. I suppose I am too old to change. He paused and then added more roughly, If anyone comes here to force us, he may receive a load of buckshot. But they will not let us leave, Lucy said in fear. Wait until Jefferson comes back, her father replied. We will manage it somehow. Until then, do not worry, my dear. Do not cry, and do not let your eyes become swollen, or he will be angry with me when he sees you. There is nothing to be afraid of. There is no danger at all. John Ferrier spoke with strong confidence, trying to comfort his daughter. But Lucy noticed something that made her feel uneasy. That night, he locked the doors more carefully than usual. He also took the old, rusty shotgun from the wall of his bedroom, cleaned it carefully, and loaded it before putting it where he could easily reach it.